Plaintiffs Tony Anderson and his son Antoine moved to their current neighborhood from the inner city after Tony's daughter witnessed a shooting. However, Tony claims after they moved in, they started having problems with the defendant and his family, who live across the street. Tony's suing his neighbor today because he claims the defendant's son hit Antoine with a stick, injuring his eye. Defendants Todd Droulard and his son Aaron say they've lived in their neighborhood for 15 years, and they've never had a problem with any of their neighbors. Todd says after the incident with the stick, Antoine's mother threatened Aaron, and they're countersuing for lost wages.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Yes. In the early part of December 2008, me and my family, we reside in the inner city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. One Saturday evening, my daughter was sitting downstairs in the living room, and she heard a loud knock on the door, and it came from across the street at my previous residence before I moved where I'm at. And when she looked out the window, the guy opened the door across the street, and the guy that was on the outside of the door shot the guy at point-blank range. And my daughter seen all this, so she came upstairs screaming and hollering to me and her mother. And we came downstairs, looked out the window, and we seen the mother of the victim come out and collapse. My daughter was terrified. She was traumatized and paranoid for a long time. So she didn't want to go to school. She was paranoid. She didn't want to do nothing but stay in the house. So me and my wife, we sat down one night and we talked about this, man. We knew we had to move. So what we did, we started looking around for a house, in a better neighborhood. So me and my wife found the house. And the house was located right across the street from Todd's house. And first few weeks there, the neighborhood was nice and everything was okay. You know how young kids meet each other. It's like they've been knowing each other forever. They click right away, But as time went on, I'd be sitting in my living room looking out the window. I'd look across the street, and I got to noticing that I always would see the young defendant over there, Aaron, and his cousins or his friends. They would always have little guns in their hand, all the time. If it wasn't a gun, it was a stick.
Play guns, obviously.
Yes, play guns, or a stick, and they'll be swinging the stick at each other. I'm not talking about tapping, I'm talking about wham, So I kind of bagged my son up away from that because I'm telling myself it's an accident waiting to happen. And I have another thing. I don't allow him to play with guns because I don't want him to get that fascination with these guns.
Correct.
And to see what a real gun would do.
Yep.
So I don't let him play with guns. I get him off into other things. He's a Cub Scout. He played basketball. I'm a coach. I get involved in what he do. But at this time, I got to noticing things about Aaron. He'd be all over the block. One day I'm sitting outside. His parents come outside. They didn't even know where he was at. His middle son, I don't know his name, walking up and down the street looking for him. And I'm telling myself, how can you let your son at this age get out your sight?
Okay. Let me allow him to give some background. Sir?
We've lived in the neighborhood for 15 years, and we've never had any problems with any other kids in the neighborhood.
Does he play with guns? Or
not as much as the neighborhood kids.
Yes.
My nephew.
He said not as much, so that means
my nephew has a fascination with it. But
does he play with sticks? Do they swing
they
sticks?
play with the sticks. I've talked to them many times about not playing with the sticks because someone would get hurt. And as far as my son roaming the streets, as he put it, he has friends that live down at the end of the block. In my opinion,
I don't think that's his business, quite frankly. I think he was making the point, though, that he noticed on one occasion or more that you weren't able to find your son.
It's because he was in the house of the child, and he
but you couldn't find him. Now, is that true or not?
True.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me before we get back into the case?
We do many things together, and my son's in Cub Scouts also.
Good.
So, he understands the value of things.
Okay. What have you noticed regarding his son's activities, if any?
They plays like any other normal 9-year-old child.
Okay. Go ahead.
At this time, I'm going to let my son tell you what happened. Is that okay, Judge Mathis?
Sure.
Okay.
How you doing, young man?
We was outside, me and my next door neighbor was outside playing, and Aaron came over and spoke, and he said, "Do you want to play?" And we said, "Yeah," and then he said, "Put the sticks out on the sidewalk so he could roll over it with his bike." and we did. That's when my neighbor got called in the house for dinner, and then another person came out. When he rolled over the stick, it got stuck in his tire and it popped up and hit him in the back, and he thought I had threw the stick up at his back, and he picked up a stick and hit me in my face with it.
Then what happened, sir?
My wife called me on her cell phone screaming and hollering. And I'm saying, what's wrong, sweetheart? What's wrong? I'm rushing Antoine to the hospital. So I went directly back to the house. Me and my son went across the street. I knocked on the door. His wife came to the door. Once she came to the door, I told her the situation that was at hand. She looks at me and tell me, boys gonna be boys. After my son got rushed to the hospital, I said, that's not boys being boys.
Sir, what do you want to tell me?
From what I understand, my wife spoke with Anton's father, and he said that they had to go to the hospital, and my son was downstairs because he was upset. He said that the mother yelled at him and said that when Anton comes back, he's going to kick his butt.
Who said that?
The mother.
In order to hold you liable for this accident, he must prove that you are negligent or were negligent in this instance or have in the past allowed a pattern of negligence in supervising your child. And that's why I was asking the specifics about what they were playing with and what you typically allow them to do and what you do when you see them swinging sticks with each other, playing with guns with each other. You said you've told him repeatedly not to, repeatedly, meaning you haven't addressed it. You haven't been successful. Because if you tell a child repeatedly to stop engaging in things that would cause damage to others, and they don't, repeatedly you tell your child something, and they don't, something's wrong. And you must give either further discipline or you must get him counseling. Then I hear that you can't find him, and you admitted to that. You've been unable to find him on an instance. So I'm going to conclude you're negligent in supervising your child. Let me see the medical bills. Your counterclaim for $160 for lost wages.
I have a police report.
All right, let me have a police report.
I have the pictures.
Okay, give me evidence.
I have a statement.
From whom?
My wife.
What is she saying?
She's stating what happened after Aaron hit him with the stick, and also
bloody shirt. Wow. Wow.
And you know what, Judge Mathis, right now today, they haven't even tried to apologize to my son for what they did.
Yes, he has tried to apologize.
Wait, when?
Many times. After the incident, but he was told that he wouldn't even speak to him.
When did this
I don't
happen?
know exactly what date.
You don't know when he tried to apologize?
He said he has tried to apologize, but he wouldn't talk to him.
Without a parent being involved in that apology? Was the parent involved? Did the parent apologize to the man for risking the son's eyesight? This is a clear risk to his eyesight. The damage I'm looking at very clearly that he could have lost his sight permanently. And you, as an adult, have not apologized to this kid's parent. What is your counterclaim for? $160 for lost wages?
Yes, sir. Well, I have to be here, and I have to lose work.
You're kidding me. $5,000 for the plaintiff for the damages done, for the medical bills, and I am holding the father liable because I'm concluding that you've been negligent in supervising your child. Have a good day.
I'm sorry for hitting you in the eye.
It's okay.
It have to be some discipline somewhere down the line that someone won't get hurt for real.
I agree. They probably will be friends again at some point in time. You know, my son's not a malicious person. He was not every intent. So, you know, it was an accident, and hopefully it'll never happen again.